is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That's Newstead from the Heavy Metal Music record. And I don't know what's up with that guy. That guy was my friend in Metallica. You know, he was my guy, and every time Metallica came, I had the distinct opportunity to hook up with Jason, which was really some cool access to, you know, a lot of the good years of Metallica, to say the least. But what happened? I mean, I love that. And he seemed like he was on a roll, and then he just sort of quit.
Vanished.
And now he's doing what? Acoustic songs or some shit?
No. He's sitting at home just counting his money.
I mean, yeah, and he made a lot of money. I mean, if you think about it, the albums that he played on, I mean, he played on Black.
He played on the Black album. Jesus Christ, it's the biggest selling album in the fucking
Even if he's only getting mechanical royalties.
Yeah, he made his money. I mean, he made between that, Justice, even though he's...
And touring, yeah.
You know, he made his money. There's no question at all that he made his money, but...
He deserved it.
He did. I mean, it's a funny thing because being around those guys quite a bit in... I was around Metallica, like, even before I was in the industry. Not around them, like, backstage necessarily, but I was around them from touring and whatnot. From the Black Album on. You know, the Black Album, I saw them play 8 times on the Black Album tour. And literally my move, you'll love this, Hannon, because you lived out there. I was in the military, and I got out of the military in, I forget what the dates were, but I get out the military. I sent my wife and brand new baby home 2 weeks early. And I stayed with a friend because I planned my whole trip home around 3 Metallica shows. I saw them in San Francisco one night, Sacramento the next night, and Reno the next night. You know, cut up and then cut across the mountain.
Nothing wrong with that. That's perfect.
Oh, my God. But for the Sacramento show and for the Reno show, I had Snake Pit tickets. So I don't know if you guys remember the Snake Pit. They cut just that little square out the middle of the stage, and there's about 30 of us.
Was in there.
Oh, it was the shit, and especially in Reno. I'm at the Reno show, and I don't know anybody. You know, I drove over that stupid mountain with the chains on my tires, you know, because it's winter, or it was getting toward winter, but it was snow like crazy. You've driven that, haven't you, across?
Oh, yeah. I got a girl in Reno.
All right. So you know this. You're driving. Maybe it's changed now. I don't know. But this was 1992. And I'm driving, okay? And I'm coming over the mountain or whatever. And it's snowing so fucking hard that I can't see. All I can see is the lights in front of me when they fucking hit their brakes. Can't even see them irregular. And literally, I'm thinking to myself, I got my windshield wipers going full fucking speed. I got chains on my tires. And I'm alone. And I'm scared out of my mind. I'm literally thinking, if this fucking guy goes over the cliff,
I'm following him.
I'm going with him. Because I can't see the road. There was no road to see. And by the grace of God, he didn't and I didn't. And I made it over to Reno. And then I went into Reno, and this is me being 21 or 2 or whatever I was at the time. I went into like the little casino district that they have, like that small strip.
Love that area.
I'm sure it's nice, but I was 22 with no money. I was 22. I had like $600, and I had to, if nothing else, I had to get all the way across the country. So it wasn't like I could go and gamble. Right. I literally was like...
You'd piss that away in a second.
I had like $100 to spend on Metallica, and the rest better get me gas and a hotel room and whatever and food home. So I didn't want to spend anything. So I walked through that little casino area, and I was like, I'm not going to... I played like 2 slot machines, lost. It was like... out. I'm going back to the hotel. So I go back to my hotel, the Scumbag Inn. You know, I'm in like the seediest, shadiest, shittiest hotels in Reno.
Yeah.
And I'm in my room. And truthfully, I was getting some sleep because I had like driven like 18 straight. I just drove through the night, so which made it even more fun to try doing that fucking mountain in the dark. You know, because I'm brilliant like that. I'm a real fucking thinker. You know, so I get to Reno. I'm in this hotel. Walls are paper thin, and I'm listening to hookers fuck guys on both sides of me constantly. You know, they're selling the rooms by the hour or whatever, and I'm in the middle between these two fucking rooms. So then I have the urge. I'm like, well, maybe I should get me a whore. You know, so I get this idea. I'm like, oh, you know what?
Hey, get a whore.
Yeah, the wife's been gone for a while. I could use a blowjob. This could be good. So I go outside of my room, and there's hookers that are just kind of there. And I ask them, I'm like, you know, how much for some head? And the girl says to me, $250. And I was like, what am I? And I literally looked at her. I was like, what, am I out of shape or something? You know, I'm in army shape at this point. So
Do
I was
look
in good
like
shape.
Daddy Warbucks here?
Yeah, I was like, she's like, $250. I was like, for head? You know? She's like, yeah, that's the cost. I was like, ugh. So I just went to sleep. I was like, fuck this. But then I went, you know, later and saw Metallica and was like, yes, I'm in the snake pit. And what was cool in that show was after the show, they took all of the snake pit people backstage. It wasn't supposed to be that way. I mean, it wasn't like a paid for thing, but
it's just what they did.
Well, it was what they
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
and what they told us, whether it was true or not, was that they were taking us back because we brought more energy or whatever, and we did. I mean, I've never been so soaking wet as I was from that, just from moshing around in this little pit. But, you know, I literally planned my whole trip back for that. And with Metallica, you know, I've seen Metallica 40 some odd times. They are, of all the bands, they're my second favorite band of all time, Pantera being the first. The band I've seen the most would definitely be Metallica. I saw the first gig of the Black Album tour, which was Day on the Green 91. It was, what a show that was. I don't know if you've been to those, but you've heard of those, obviously.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They fenced off, it was in Oakland Stadium, the baseball stadium. They fenced off the infield so we wouldn't tear up the infield. But then they put the stage kind of catty corner in right field, facing like towards center and left field sort of a thing. And the whole outfield was a mosh pit. The whole outfield was ridiculous moshing. And it was Metallica was the headliner, and it was Queensryche was touring on Empire, Faith No More on Angel Dust, and Soundgarden on Bad Motorfinger. So it was all these bands at their peak. Each one of those bands at their peak. They all played full sets. You know, there was no 30-minute sets from anybody. Everybody played 90 minutes. It was great. It was 12 hours. I went to this thing. It was me and my two friends, my friend Scott and my friend Richard. And we went to this show. And now this I know you remember. When you drive up Highway 1 and you hit Gilroy, you have all those wine places on both sides of the road where you could stop and sample wine.
Yeah.
So you
We
sampled
hit
all the way up.
every single one of these fucking wine places.
When you're young, that makes sense.
Oh my god! Oh, it was horrible.
Hey,
But-
going back, I want to go back a second.
All right, go
What
ahead.
You just said. You said you've seen Pantera the most of
No,
any band.
Metallica.
Metallica.
Yeah.
Okay. What band have you seen the most, Rob? We're watching Rob Kern right now. What band have you seen the most?
It would be pretty much a dead heat between Kiss, Ted Nugent, and Cheap Trick.
Okay. How about you? You say
For me, it's Metallica, 40 odd times.
by far with me is Ted Nugent. I've seen Ted
Okay.
Nugent. I bet you 40, 50 times.
Sure.
I love Ted Nugent.
Right.
I mean,
I like Ted too. I love Ted.
Ted live he won't let you down. Only time I ever saw Ted Nugent let me down was with the Brian Howe area. I saw him at Long Beach Arena.
Yeah, the Penetrator.
Penetrator. He did so many songs of Penetrator songs. He did so many of them, and they did the medley, like the Dio does. The medley of
I hate medleys.
Classic songs.
Yeah,
Wasp always
Don't
does a
play
medley.
Dog Eat Dog into Free for All and no bullshit.
Yeah, no, play the whole thing.
Asshole.
Wasp
That
will
was the
do
only time it let me down. But yeah, Ted Nugent by far I've seen the most.
I saw Ted. I've seen Ted on his own, but then there was those years where Ted was always opening for Kiss or a special guest or whatever. And I was seeing Kiss, every Ohio day. Yeah.
I've seen Ted a lot of times too.
But I really think probably Cheap Trick would be there because my goal has always been, since 1986, I've seen Cheap Trick at least once every year since 86.
Wow. So you've seen them a bunch.
Well, there were those years in the late 80s, early 90s,
right,
where they were playing the corn dog circuit.
Right.
And the free show. So I'd see them like 3-4 times
right,
a fucking
go to the
year.
rib cook-off, get some ribs, and go watch them, right?
Watch Cheap Trick, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was with Ted. This is one. I'll tell you guys this story. It's the fans probably know this story already because it's one I told it. I told this the first week I came back to the show after taking that 3-year hiatus. I literally in 2012 I saw Ted with. It's such a weird show now that I'm thinking about it. It was Ted with REO Speedwagon and Styx.
Yeah.
Such an odd bill. And this was literally, I was completely emotionally wrecked at the time from the fucking divorce. Yeah. I mean, it literally wasn't a month after we broke up. So I was just fucking devastated at this show. And I'm at the show, and these bands, if you think about, forget Ted, but REO and fucking Styx, every goddamn song is a fucking tearjerk song.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm at this show, all fucking emotionally distraught, and here's Styx, babe, I'm leaving, must be on my way, and I'm like, I'm just fucking crying, and fucking then REO Speedwagon comes out, and it's heard it from a friend who. Heard it from another, you've been messing around. Meanwhile, my ex cheated on me, so I was like, just a weeping faggot, And meanwhile, my friend Matt, who was just trying to drag me out to get me.
Just to get you out and to boost your spirits.
Well, because I was damn near suicidal, as the book tells everybody. Yeah. I'm in the backyard one day with the fucking pistol in my hand, and a week later he's dragging me out. So he's dragging me out to this show, and then every goddamn other song is just another tearjerker. I was like, and I'm sitting in the stands like a total fucking faggot, just crying.
Does Ted come on and give you a different point of view?
Yeah, Ted came on, and he was like, Ted was classic Ted. I've seen Ted maybe 15 times myself, because I saw Ted in a lot of those lean years when it was like him on a shitty record with Slaughter opening, I saw a lot of those tours, but this night. I think Ted, and I would love to interview him to know from this 2012 tour. I think he resented that he was on that tour, but he needed to be on that tour to get asses in the seats to get him paid his $25,000 or $50,000 or whatever he makes, whatever it is he makes. I don't know what he makes. But literally, Ted, every other song was like, here's our love song. And it'd be like Wang Bang Sweet Poontang or
Here's
Wango Tango. But he kept drilling on here's our love song. Here's our love song. And it was a total fucking punch in the balls to REO Speedwagon and fucking Styx.
Right.
And it made me wonder if really he didn't want to be on this thing at all, but like management or you know how that shit works.
Right, yeah.
Management was like, all right, Ted, here's how this is going to work. We can tour by ourselves and make $50,000 a night. We can go out with these two bands and make you $100,000 a night. Which do you want to do? And Ted will take the money, you know.
Well, yeah. But was it good? Was Ted good?
Ted was great. He was. Did
it make you feel different? Did you stop crying?
No, I was a big weeping bitch. Dude, this was literally 2 weeks after the ex left.
Crank me! Oh, that reminds me of her.
I didn't cry. I did not cry during Ted, but I was such a fucking weepy pile of shit at that point. There was no...
I tell you what, I'm still married, but I go see REO.
I love it.
And Kevin Cronin, I cry when he does a 5-minute intro to every fucking song. Yeah. I'm crying. Just shut up and play.
Yeah, I know. Every song with that fucking guy is like, you know, when we were out in 1972, there was a girl named Jane, and Jane used to walk the street in a red dress. You know, he tells some big, long, elaborate story that means nothing to the fucking song. Here's time for me to fly. It's like, what?
Here's what I love about my wife is last night we were drinking.
All right.
And I have got this, I play videos on the TV. I've got a playlist.
Sure.
And it was some old REO, and he was talking, and Dawn said, did he fucking talk that much in between every song in the 80s? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. But even my wife was like, what the fuck? Can't he just shut up and play a fucking song?
Well, you know, correct me if I'm wrong on this, and you guys can definitely stomp on my face with this. Isn't it harder to watch these guys, even if they sound good, if they just look old? Like if they have white hair?
That doesn't bother me.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Drives me crazy. Like,
we all get old.
I understand that. Cronin, though? I remember Cronin with the big fucking afro.
Yeah, I know he's got that. He looks like somebody's aunt now. But he's looked like somebody's aunt for the last 20 years.
REO Speedwagon is still great.
They're great live.
Kevin
sounds amazing.
It doesn't bother me at all.
See, but even like I'll tell you another one that drove me nuts when I saw it. And I saw it at Clay's Park, of all the fucking places. It was B version of Survivor with no, that was the opener. It was B version of Survivor, and fucking Robin McCauley was singing for fucking Survivor.
Nice.
And he was opening for Dennis DeYoung. And Dennis DeYoung with the white hair looks like an old banker.
But no, that's a wig. You realize that's
DeYoung
a rug.
Is a wig? I did not know that.
That's a rug.
I didn't know that.
He played last year in Mansfield, the last Rib Fest. And he's got orthopedic red tennis shoes. But you know what? He got up and did their Mr. Roboto with the mask.
Yuck!
You know, hey, give me a break. That was his big thing.
Stop it! That was horrible back when Styx did it in '83. That was terrible.
But the thing is we were like, he had two broads up on stage singing.
Okay.
And I can guarantee you where all of Dennis DeYoung's money has went, right into his wife.
Oh, his wife's sucking that dollar out of him. Huh?
We were eyeballing. We're like, look at that. And he said, I want to bring out my wife that I've been married to for, 93 years or however the fuck. And she walked out and we're like,
wow.
She was.
She looked good, huh?
She looked real good. It was probably a wig, lots of face shit, titty bumps, whatever. We were like, holy fuck. But yeah, she must have been 63 years old because he said, we've been married for 38 years or something.
Yeah,
and
meanwhile,
she
came
50. Out and we're like, holy shit.
Oh, wow. No, I was unaware that I had no idea that he even wore a wig.
He's worn.
If you're gonna wear a wig, why would you wear a fucking gray one?
Well, because he's older now. But it's one of those. You can tell it's one of those old ones that like buttons into the top of their head, where they have the one where it buttons in. Boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, But the great thing was we were all laughing because you could walk right. It was a rib fest.
Right.
Nobody came. You'd go back. I'm going to go get a beer, and then walk up and be front row.
Front row still.
And he had orthopedic shoes that he had spray painted bright red.
Nice. That's hot.
But you know,
dude,
it was,
look,
Dennis
again,
DeYoung.
Who doesn't do that? Come on.
Again, I'm not shitting on the guy for having a career and keeping it going, but there's some of these guys though that have to retire.
I had a lot of fun that night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were they good? Was he good?
Roboto.
Well, he sounds good.
He even had the Roboto mask.
See, that would have made me leave.
See, that was
I would have walked
I
away.
thought it was great.
Don't let it end. Crying like a bitch.
Okay. We got a new picture just put up.
That's just a Pink
what
Floyd.
Is that?
That's just a Pink Floyd
What's that
photo
picture?
pass.
Why is there a Pink Floyd picture?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention, but it's photo pass Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, what's it say? Stink?
89 staff. It's a photo pass or a staff pass. I don't know why that's there.
Makes no sense. More Kaylee Kuko, please.
Yeah, really, please.
More Kaylee Kuko. Do we have naked pictures of her?
Do you
somewhere?
not agree that some of these bands, some of these guys need to retire, though? And I'll point to one very specific.
No,
yes,
hold
on.
No. I'm going to go. If you can still do it, it's better than driving a truck.
If
what are you gonna
people
do?
are still showing up, I mean, Paul Stanley's voice.
If people
is
are still
shit.
showing up, you think that is acceptable, even if they stink?
Well, what are you going to do? It's better than doing nothing. Yeah. I mean, a man has to have a reason to wake up in the morning.
I get it, but dude, I mean, do you really look? I know we're friends with Dokken, but come on.
Yeah, but still, what are you going to do?
Come on, he's croaking.
What are
these
you
songs
going to
out.
do?
But you know what? People still show up to it.
I get that, but shouldn't the tickets be cheaper or something?
What are you going to do?
I know, like Lou Graham.
If you're Don Dokken, what are you going to do?
Or like Lou Graham. Have you guys seen Lou Graham these days?
Yeah, I saw him a few years ago.
You
at
would
the same
never recognize Lou Graham now.
No.
Let me find a picture of Lou.
He's all kind of. It looks
That's
like.
not, oh, is that Lou Graham?
That's Lou Graham.
God damn! I want
Michael,
Lou Graham in my
it
house.
looks like Lou Graham got stung by a hornet's nest.
Or 10.
Remember Lou Graham,
I've
and
seen
then
that movie.
picture him getting stung by a bunch of bees.
That's Lou Graham.
Okay, so what?
I'm not saying negative. I'm saying you would never pick this guy out on the street as Lou Graham.
No. So what? No.
Look at this guy.
He's got to do something.
Here's
Everybody
my.
has a job. It's not none of us.
Yeah, but
look
he's
at
not
us,
good
look
at
around
singing
this
either.
room. None of us look like fucking superstars.
I'm not saying that, but none of us built our career on looking a certain way either.
No. It doesn't
Half of
matter
his
about the
career is
looks.
the
It
look.
matters about the sound and the
But Lou
attitude.
doesn't have that anymore either.
Are you sure?
You want me to play some?
Yeah,
No.
I've seen
I really
Lou
don't.
live.
I really
It's
No.
it's
He's
troubling.
struggling. It's
It's
troubling.
troubling.
I
Yeah.
didn't like it when he was good, so I don't want to hear it.
See, Lou is now, he's fat, and Lord knows I'm certainly not the one to pick at anybody because they're fat, but he's fat to the point that he's out of breath when he's singing.
Okay, well, I don't care. I don't want. I'm just trying to say.
Would you
like,
not be pissed if you dropped $30 to go see him at the casino?
But I
And you
wouldn't.
get fat Lou Graham that sounds like ass?
But I think in this day and age, you're not going to be surprised by that. You
No,
went
you're not. I
online
guess
and seen
not,
it.
but it just, I don't know.
I mean, if you go to see a band called Iron Butterfly is playing,
Yeah.
are you picturing anybody at all original there?
No, I guess not.
But you're going to go because you want to revisit your old.
You want to
Yeah,
remember
maybe.
a point in time where you
That's
were.
I
all.
don't know, though.
Here's my thing. I remember when my parents were 40,
Okay,
and they were excited about going to see Peter, Paul, and Mary,
sure.
and it was they seemed
There was only one
ancient.
Peter.
There was no Peter, no Paul, or no Mary.
We are a generation. We're the first generation where the bands that we still loved as teenagers are still making records and touring. Because when my parents were 40 years old, they were all nostalgia acts.
Right.
They didn't have the
it was
capability.
all the fake. It was the fake Temptations or whatever, right?
Yeah, and there was no outlet for them to record because now it's so easy for bands to do shit. I'm fine with that. Let the bands, here's the thing. My daughter said the Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing next year.
Yeah, May.
In May on my wife's birthday. Do you want to go? I'm like, no. I paid $14 to see the Chili Peppers.
And now it's $100.
20-some years ago.
That's like $100.
And I didn't like them then.
Right.
I'm sure not going to pay to see their old asses now.
Sadly, I have to pay.
But you know what? I don't look down on the people that want to pay that to go see them. Good for them.
It's funny you bring that one up because I actually have to buy tickets for that. I'm taking my friend Stephanie's son. He asked me if I would take him because he knows that I know a couple of guys in the band. He wants to meet the band.
Right.
But it's going to cost me a couple $100. It's like,
but
fuck.
I don't hold it. If people want to go and do that, that's fine.
I guess, you know what? There's a part of me that agrees with you. There's another part, and I think it's almost, we talk about Blotzer and Rat all the fucking time on this show. I know. And
they have become that Motown group where there's not, it's a Temptations and there's not an original Temptation.
It's an original member, but not one that had anything to do with the success. Of all the guys in fucking Rat, the least important was Bobby Blotzer. It's hard to take that serious.
Okay, here you go. Back to Salty Dog. You know that Kurt Meyer from Salty Dog was the drummer in Rat, and he got replaced by Bobby Blotzer.
Well, the even less reason to go see fake Rat.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That is if you look on one of the first Metal Massacre albums, the Rat song on one of those Metal Massacre albums has Rat with Kurt Meyer playing drums
I did not know that.
From Salty Dog. Yeah,
I did not. So where do you stand with Blotzer and four
I could give a
unknowns?
flying fuck. I didn't like Rat in the first place. Don't think it was an EP.
But let's say you did. Let's say you did.
It's a real band. I just don't care. I mean, they've had Jizzy Pearl. They've had all this. I just don't care.
Okay,
to me,
how
Rat.
about? Let me go.
If you
want to
go
see your
Rat,
world, though.
Go hear Rat songs. There's got to be somebody in there. I mean,
but let me go into your world then.
Okay.
What did you think of Rainbow last summer? That was really just Richie Blackmore and a bunch of fucking scabs.
It doesn't. Well, Rainbow was a different band every album. So who gives a flying fuck? I mean, it's Richie Blackmore and whatever he has. The best Rainbow albums were Rising and Long Live Rock and Roll. Yeah. Well, then it went to shit. Who gives a fuck? And I mean, it was garbage every time. He would just keep changing members.
Right.
But I'm going back to what you're saying.
Right.
It's whatever. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I mean,
if Paul Raymond and four other guys that you've never heard of called a band UFO, you don't feel that to be a ripoff?
Well, they did that when they did that Misbehavin' album.
And
it sucked ass.
Misbehavin', yeah.
Ain't Misbehavin'. That was like when they had Atomic Tommy and all that crap.
Right,
it was garbage.
Atomic Tommy, yeah.
Nobody cares.
Right.
It's just... You're a club band. Whoever owns the name. Look at all these Southern rock bands. They're the same.
Yeah.
Molly Hatchet. There's no members of Molly Hatchet in Molly Hatchet.
Right.
The way I feel is the discerning listeners like us will know the bullshit, and we're like, I'm not going to see it.
I'm not going to go see it, right.
But if Joe Schmo up the street wants to go, and he thinks, I just saw Rat, and he's a fucking idiot, and he doesn't know. He thinks he really saw Rat. Well, more power to that.
I don't know. I hate.
I
don't care what the band is, whether you like the band or not. I hate seeing people get ripped off. And to me,
people don't know the difference. These are idiots. These are casual fans.
Well, I get that they don't know the difference.
They go see Kiss now. They don't know.
That's like saying, well, I want to buy a Nissan, but I ended up with a Yugo, but they both still take me to the same place.
You got to do your research. You got to do your research.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
We're music freako fanatics, all of us in this room, okay?
Mm-hmm.
your casual fan doesn't know the difference. They go, same with all these Motown bands. How many people are in the OJs now that are left on touring?
None. Probably none.
How many are in the Temptations? And
I
they're
think
all
there's
still
one
touring.
guy. Isn't there one guy that's like 80 of the
yeah.
Temptations?
Yeah.
There's none. Whoever owns the name, and they're
Yeah.
going to use it. At least like this guy, the Molly Hatchet name. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and it's going to be like that with Kiss. You know that Kiss is going to be guys in makeup, and
Yeah,
none
it's
of
going to
them
be
are
Kiss 2.0
It
at
will
some
be.
point.
Well,
yeah.
they've already said they're game for that. They don't
Yeah.
care. They
It's
just
like
want
the
to keep
Harlem
making money.
Globetrotters. That's what Gene Simmons
Yeah, that's
said.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
There's no hope. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's no Curly Neal or whatever left anymore. It's just
Yeah,
a bunch
no,
of guys
they're
that
all-
washed out of the NBA at this point.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just such a. It is a hot button topic though, but and I almost think it's because us and people that listen to us are a little more hardcore.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, metal fans are we're much into it. We're very much
Right.
into it. But I mean, even bands like, I got in this band called Atomic Rooster.
Okay.
There wasn't a single same guy in that band
Right.
through 4 albums other than the keyboard player the whole way
Right.
through.
The whole,
Sure.
And then he killed himself.
Yeah, then he
Oh,
finished suicide. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's just like, all these bands are like that. It's reality of today.
Yeah, I guess, and I mean, I guess on some level too. One of the reasons that I think we're so like, I'll tell you, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy on one hand, but on the other hand, then there's certain bands that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like Rat drives me nuts, but I'm fine with Foreigner.
Yeah.
And that makes no sense.
How about
Well,
Alice Cooper? Alice Cooper
fine,
doesn't have this.
But Alice Cooper is Alice. Alice is Alice Cooper.
I
Okay,
think of Alice
before-
as the band.
We think of Alice Cooper as the band. If you were like, think of it, okay, alphabetically, it would be under A as the name of the band was Alice Cooper.
Right.
All the way up to Muscle.
So you guys are you're not down with the Kip Winger thing. It's got to be like Dennis and
No.
I still
he was good after
appreciate
that. But then
that.
after that, it would be under C alphabetically
Right.
because it was a
Yeah.
solo artist.
Because it was
All
a
right.
solo artist.
Okay.
It wasn't the band. Yeah.
so
Okay.
when it was the Alice Cooper, was it the Alice Cooper Group? Is that what it was called back in the original?
it was
days?
It was
Alice-
just called Alice Cooper. It was
in
named
my
like
mind, it's
Jethro Tull.
Alice Cooper.
All right.
Okay, think of it like Jethro Tull. Jethro Tull's the name of a band. There's nobody
Right.
in the band. Alice Cooper's the name of the band.
Yeah.
All
All right.
the way up to Muscle Love Greatest Hits.
And then
okay?
boom.
Then after that, Alice Cooper was a solo.
And that's when he fired everybody and just
Yeah,
did
he
his
went a
thing.
lot way.
Did his thing and got another band.
right. And I guess
look at it the same, but in my head, like Michael said, I look at it as
right,
A and C.
right. Where like
And-
and it's weird because certain bands don't matter. Megadeth doesn't matter.
It all
Don't
comes
care who's in the
down
band as long
to
as Dave's in it.
how much do you want to accept. And there's
Oh,
certain bands
Metallica.
that I won't
Yeah.
accept.
Oh, Metallica, your favorite band.
Yeah.
You just said, okay, you've got
McGovney,
you've got 7, 8 members.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's so subjective, and maybe it's just that I think Blotzer's such a cocksucker that I fucking just want to hate
Yeah,
it.
he comes across like a real cunt.
Well,
I
he's
mean,
a
I'm
real
not going to
fucking
go
asshole.
see that version of
No, I'm
that.
not going to go see it
I'm not
either.
gonna
Who the
go
fuck?
see
Why
it.
would you?
Yeah,
But for
I'd go see
people that
Jizzy
want
if Jizzy
to,
was
you know,
singing.
I'd go see
Jizzy
Jizzy.
any day. Jizzy kicks ass.
Jizzy's the shit.
What's Randy Trask think? I don't know. We haven't heard shit out of Randy.
He's
Because
thinking.
he's stoned and passed out.
He's thinking. He's
stoned
thinking
the
about a
bone.
dream.
I need
he's
a
having.
beer.
He's thinking
What
about
time
a dream.
is it? How much longer do we
We're
have
done.
to do this shit?
We're pretty much done if we want to be.
250. Yeah.
It's 2:50. I can play songs and we're done.
Play Swords and Tequila.
All right, let me pull that. I'll add it and we'll get the fuck out of here. Let me see here.
I've been asking for it all night, for fuck's sake.
Let me go out tonight. Gotta get up. I don't know the words
We've
at
built
all.
a wall of beer, I think.
Would you like live or would you like just the regular version?
The
Oh, the
studio.
regular.
The
Regular.
studio, the regular
From the
version.
awesome Fire Down Under.
By request by Mr. Michael
And
Hannon.
what was that?
This
A
is
seal?
right.
What
Swords
was
and
that
Tequila.
mascot they had? The worst mascot.
The worst
Seal.
mascot ever.
A fucking seal.
A fucking seal. What the
Fucking
fuck? Who
seal
cares?
needed
Their
to be
music
clubbed
kicked
in the head.
ass. And Rhett Forrester, we missed you too, man. You kicked ass.
All right, boys. Let's get the fuck out of here. This went very fast, did it not?
Yes, indeed.
We have a mountain of fucking beer cans. Holy smokes. All right, people. Thank you for listening, as always.
People! Yeah! Yeah!
We want to see you back next year,
Give you
people.
my sword and with some tequila. Oh, yeah.
We don't want some cold whiskey. We want cold swords and tequila, baby.
Oh,
And some cold gin. Oh, fucking Paul sucks a dick. He so stinks. All right, we're out of here. Rob, where and when?
Loud, drunk, and angry. I think Corey's going to change times, and normally you can hear us Saturdays 4 p.m. Eastern, Sundays 1 p.m. Eastern, Mondays 8 p.m. Eastern on Uncontrolled Noise.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Loud, drunk, and angry.
Gotta hear it on a Sunday, or you can hear it on a Monday.
Or you can watch the Browns lose.
You can listen on a Sunday, or you can listen on a Monday.
Oh,
Or you can drink some cold gin! Cold gin, everybody! He fucking stinks. Hannon, you got nothing to promote, right?
I got nothing.
There you go.
But
Nothing.
my pants are down around my ankles, and that's all that matters.
There you go. Kaylee Coco. Rock and Randy.
Brother?
What do you got? Bud's dates?
No Bud's dates right now. We're recording, rehearsing, and
All right, you got nothing. We're done here.
Nothing.
We're done here. You got nothing. All right, and I got nothing other than next week. Neely will be back next week. I assumably will be back with Neely. And thanks for listening and blah, blah, blah. Fucking kill yourself.
yeah.
So until next week, it is me, Chris Aiken, and this is some Riot to rock this thing out. This is Swords and Tequila right here on your classic metal show. Go fuck yourself.